indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And all please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
Here. We have quorum. Any public comments today? Seeing none, move on to fiscal contractual. We have no repository properties up for bid, no advertising bid proposals, no receipt of bid proposals. We do have a warrant register dated from January 26, 2022. And Dan, I'm going to check that over and then take a motion to accept and file.
Yeah, today I looked it over in advance, so I am ready to make a motion, assuming you're ready to second.
I'll second that.
I'll move for acceptance of the warrant register as submitted.
And I will second that. We have a motion to second. Is there any further discussion here? None. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. The same sign. Motion carries. We also have minutes from Tuesday, January 25th. That was the last meeting of the Board of Commissioners. Again, I'll give you a minute to check those over and take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that. I didn't get a chance to look at them, but I'm sure they're. I'll move for adoption of the minutes.
All right, I'll second that. We have a motion to second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Staff reports. Do we have any member of staff here that has anything to report above and beyond what's already on the agenda? Seeing none. Commissioner reports and comments. Only thing I have today is I'm excited to announce that Lawrence County just received a $1 million award in partnership with Union Township for the deployment of sidewalks and pedestrian infrastructure in our Union Township targeted revitalization area. That grant is provided through the Southwest Pennsylvania Commission's Transportation Alternatives Program. And the nice thing about it is it doesn't require a match so long as the design is done. And so we're looking forward to deploying that infrastructure up in Union and continue our efforts in partnership with Township and with LCAP to revitalize that part of Lawrence County. And thank you to SPC. That's all I have, Dan.
Yeah, thank you. Well, and we've probably noted this before, but since we have some folks in the room, maybe they haven't been here. We're unique in that our county is affiliated with both the Southwest Pennsylvania Commission and the Northwest Pennsylvania Commission. That doesn't happen too much around the Commonwealth. And when Morgan and Loretta came into office, we sat down and said, well, we've got two boards. How are we going to divvy this up? And we decided that technically all three commissioners do sit on the Southwest Commission board. But we determined that there also has to be one commissioner who serves on their executive committee, and we reached the conclusion that Commissioner Boyd would be the most appropriate person to do that. And on the Northwest Commission, their rules are a little bit different. Only one county commissioner sits on their board, and we decided I would be that person. So it's good that we have our foot in both of those areas. The Southwest Commission also has two non-elected officials, Amy McKinney and Mr. Berlin from up in Wilmington Township. And the Northwest Commission has one private sector person, and that's Tom McKinley, who also resides in Wilmington Township. But I want to thank Commissioner Boyd. He bird-dogged this grant, and it's certainly good news for specifically for Union Township. But thank you for all your efforts.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'll note that is one board that I haven't been thrown off of yet. New business. We have first on deck. This is sort of a routine resolution. We did this one last, I want to say we did it last year. Basically, a discussion and possible for entering a contract with Carolyn Flannery, effectively for assistant solicitor services. We do a contract for efficiency reasons, as opposed to having her in-house as an employee. But this is sort of a routine thing. Any questions, comments on that one, Dan?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think primarily we've utilized her services on election matters.
Yes.
There's probably been a few odds and ends, but then from from the sounds of things, we may be having to utilize their services a little more this year. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, me too.
We just had an election board meeting earlier this morning, so we talked those issues all out. But no, I would certainly be in support of this renewal.
Okay, I'll note it's in the budget, it's either $24,000 or $25,000. I think it's $25,000 for the life of contract. Vanessa, what number would this be?
34.
34. I'll take a motion to approve resolution 2022-34, authorization to execute a 1-year consulting agreement with attorney Carrie Flannery for legal services.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we seem to be going through department heads recently. But we have a resolution for discussion of possible approval to accept Director Jeff Parrish's retirement after 20 years of service to the county and appoint Chad Strobel, who is currently the Deputy Director of Public Safety, as the interim Public Safety Director. I've only been here what feels like to be 2 very, very long years. When I came in, I remember thinking to myself, why do we have an emergency services department? What emergencies could possibly occur in Lawrence County? And 2 months in, and I realized why we had an emergency services department. But Jeff, in the short time that I've had the opportunity to work with you, you've distinguished yourself as just a top tier department head. Being thrown into a crisis like COVID, I know I would not have been able to get through it. I don't think this board would have been able to get through it without your leadership at the helm when everything went down last March, and as it continues to evolve even into today. So thank you for your service for the past 2 years. Thank you for your service for the past 20 years. I don't think you're retiring officially. I think you're on to a new adventure, but we certainly wish you the best in your next endeavor. And Chad, God bless you for taking on the job. Good luck. We're looking forward to working with you. You've had a phenomenal mentor, and we have full faith and confidence in your ability to perform as at least for the immediate future, the interim Public Safety Director. And yeah, looking forward to serving with you. Thank you. Dan?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, it's a bittersweet decision we have to make up here. Mr. Boyd is correct. You've done an outstanding job over the years. You're well respected within our county, and you're well respected within the region. All of your counterparts with whom you work very closely, particularly in Southwest Pennsylvania, but even beyond. And that's a real tribute to your work ethic and to your skills and to your knowledge. You've had many accomplishments during your time, but I think the most important one, and it did involve your predecessor, Brian Meltzer, as well, but I think the most significant one was took place maybe about 5-6 years ago when we made the decision to construct the public safety building in Hickory Township and simultaneously enhance the communication network throughout the county from the standpoint of expanded towers, communication towers, and new communication equipment for our emergency responders. We floated a bond to do that. And that was a big undertaking. But we said many, many times that of all the things we do as a county, your department is the one that potentially could touch every citizen of this county in every corner of the county, regardless of their age, their background, what have you. I mean, just as an example, we have a voter services office, but not everybody votes. And we have a Veterans Affairs office, but not everyone served in the military. But the potential is there for your department to have an impact on every resident of this county. We're mindful of that. And I'm appreciative that the current commissioners feel that way as well. They understand that. So a great big thank you and best wishes. The thing I'm most comfortable about is that knowing that Chad is stepping in as the interim director, and I think that will be seamless and flawless. Chad, I have a lot of confidence in you as well.
Thank you, sir.
Wish you both all the best. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll note this is effective February 4th as well, just for the record. This is resolution 2022-35. I'll take a motion.
Well, I'll move. I do it with very mixed feelings, but I'll make the motion.
And I will second that. It just states here, this is impressive. Jeff was hired on October 15th, 2001, and served all throughout this entire time. And we are very appreciative of that service. By the way, for comparison, just if anybody was wondering, I was 3 when that happened. But we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Questions on the motion? Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you for the very kind words. I appreciate it.
Up next, we have 36. This is a big meeting today. We have a resolution here, the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to execute the attached term sheet with Wish Development for the relocation of the Magisterial District Justice Office 53-3-04, which is currently occupied by Rick Russo. Tony Borelli is here with Wish Development to answer any questions that any members of the board might have in relation to that. Questions, comments from the board?
I am for this, but I might add, and Commissioner Spielvogel had a personal matter to tend to today. And I did speak with her by phone last evening, at which time she asked if I would be willing to table this for 1 week, allowing her to participate in the vote. I told her I was, but I suggested to her that she speak with you. I don't know if that happened or not. I don't know if you two had the chance to talk.
We talked last night. She didn't indicate, to me at least, she desired to be here for the vote.
Well, our conversation was such that she did request that it be tabled for 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm willing to honor that request, and I don't want that to be misinterpreted. I'm for this. And if we wait a week and it comes before us in a week, I'll vote for it.
Mm-hmm.
But out of respect for her and her opportunity to perhaps make any comments or ask any questions, I would prefer that we table it and for 1 week. And this time I'll make such a motion.
Okay, I'll second that.
And again, Tony, please understand, I'm very comfortable with what is being proposed. It is the what had been known as the Tuscany Square Restaurant.
Correct.
Which is essentially right across the road from the current location of Judge Russo's office.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Judge Russo has indicated he's comfortable with that as well.
Correct.
And I think that one of the most important elements to this is that it does keep it very close to the Mitchell Road exit of Interstate 376, which allows for pretty good access for all of the police departments that Judge Russo works with. So again, please don't misinterpret my motion to table. It's just for 1 week, and it's to allow Commissioner Spielvogel that opportunity.
May I interrupt? You do anticipate to vote next week, though?
That would be my hope.
I'll put it on, it'll be on the agenda. Absolutely will.
Okay.
If you guys are willing to hold the property.
I think we've waited this long. We'll wait another week.
All right. We have a motion to table resolution 2022.
36.
That's 36. Yeah, it says 2021.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Glad you caught that.
Yep. All right, we have you made the motion, I made the second. Question is on the motion to table. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Thanks, John.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry for any inconvenience and
No problem.
appreciate that you came today.
Up next, again, big data. We have 2022-37, appointing Mr. John McConaughey to the Lawrence County Board of Assessment Appeals for 2022 through 2024 term. Mr. McConaughey, thank you so much for your willing to serve on this board and take the level of abuse that this board takes.
Thank you.
I'm supposed to say that after you appoint.
I'm giving him full disclosure. He can't come back and complain whenever he's sitting up here doing the work of the board. But that's very much so. Thank you for your willingness to serve your county. I know JR has full faith and confidence, as do we. Dan, I don't know if you want to say anything, and then JR, I'll turn it over to you or you, Mr. McConaughey, if either of you want to say a few words.
I'll echo Mr. Boyd's comments. Thank you very much for your willingness to serve. And I know you have an extensive background in real estate, and your knowledge of the county will be very, very helpful. When JR brought your name to us, I knew a Dr. John McConaughey. He has since passed away, but I don't know, would you have been a relation?
No.
Okay. And boy, he's been gone for probably 20-some years. Do people ever ask you about him?
Yes.
Okay.
All the time.
Oh, good. Well, then I don't feel so bad. But no, we welcome you, and you probably know it already, but the assessment office headed by JR and has a tremendous staff. They're great people, and the two people with whom you'll be working on the board, I'm sure you know them, but I'm sure you'll find that they're good people to work with as well. So thank you, very
I look
kind.
forward to working with everyone here.
Thank you.
JR, anything additional you want to say?
Only thing I don't got much to say, but I'd like Jack at least give an overview of his experience so that the public is aware that we're not just bringing in someone that does not understand real estate in Lawrence County. That's one thing I got to commend the commissioners on, hiring people with experience in real estate rather than just hiring someone off the streets, for lack of a better term. He's well knowledged.
Well, and we've said this before, counties have the option of either making these appointments, or the Board of Commissioners by law can serve as the Board of Assessment Appeals.
Or sure, I'm doing that.
The last we knew, in Mercer County, unless it's changed, there are 3 commissioners do, and it's still the case, Bruce, to your knowledge? No, I think it's far better overall that folks who have this type of background serve in these capacities. So.
And Mr. McConaughey, according to new Act 155, will be required to take 9 hours of education on the responsibilities of the Board of Assessment Appeals. That was just passed recently. This prior board, it was the first time it was a requirement. So he has 6 months to obtain this certification. But he is allowed to continue to serve in that 6-month period. So didn't want anyone to be confused on that.
Sure.
But Jack, if you don't mind, give a little bit
Give
about
us
yourself.
a background.
Sure. I got into real estate sales early 1990s. Really wasn't good in sales. Okay. So I ended up getting my appraisal certification in 1998. In 1998, I started doing residential appraisals for lending institutions, attorneys, private individuals, credit unions, and basically I worked as a primary appraiser. I didn't do anything in sales, just appraisal work. Until 2017 or 2007, I got hired with Pennsylvania Department of Transportation as a real estate appraiser in the right-of-way unit. And I worked out of Oil City at the district office. Prior to that, I did all the appraisals in Lawrence County and some in Mercer and Beaver. Okay. In 2007, I got hired with the Department of Transportation in the right-of-way unit. And I did mass appraisals, before and after takings. And what it was right-of-way acquisitions, where we were doing widening of roads or bridges or putting roundabouts in. So it's basically, valuing 2 foot of land in the front to where we're doing the widening, to basically, taking a whole building with a roundabout that we're putting in, a whole building and relocations and, pretty much anything, as far as that. I worked with them from 2007 to 2019, and then I retired with them. I had 12 years with the state in the right-of-way unit as an appraiser. So for the past 30 years, plus or minus, I've been in the real estate business. And 95% of it was doing real estate appraisal services.
Sounds like a good fit to me.
I enjoyed the job in Oil City, working with the state, except for the drives in the winter.
I was gonna ask you, you live out in Mahoning Township. From
Yes.
here to Oil City's well over an hour.
Yeah. But good people there. I got along with everyone. And it was an experience. It was, it was different than residential lending unit or institution appraisal. This was more eminent domain, and federal highway acquisition laws that you had to, guidelines that you had to stick with. But the eminent domain appraisal work it's interesting.
That may come in useful in his new role.
Might come in useful within one of the third, well, I guess that's at the courts now.
Yeah, I know which one.
Yeah.
The other thing, and it's just by coincidence, but it's worked out well, but the board that you're soon going to be joining, and there's no requirement for this, but we've been able to have a pretty good geographic balance on that board. You live in Mahoning Township, so you're in the kind of the west central part of the county. And Mr. Dean, who I believe still chairs the board, is from Wilmington Township. And Mr. Carafino is from Wayne Township, the southern end of the county. So we've got some diversity in terms of the geography of the county. So I think that's worked out well that way.
All right. Thank you. Again, we appreciate your willingness to serve. And I'll take a motion to approve resolution 2022-37.
Well, unlike my reluctance with Jeff, I'm very happy to make this motion.
All right, I'll second that. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. And you're locked in for 2 years.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Up next, we have 38, which is just, it looks to be just a revision of CDBG funding in Shenango Township. Delete IDIS activity
Thank you,
52636.
folks.
I'm assuming Alan knows what that is. Alan, what is IB? What is that activity?
I'm not exactly sure what these activities are. Amy didn't inform me. She just said that this was for housing rehab and blight removal in Shenango Township.
Okay.
And this one's $20,000.
Yeah, so all we're really doing here is adhering to the Shenango supervisors. The way that the CDBG works, for anyone who's not familiar with CDBG, is the city of Newcastle gets their own pot and manages their own pot. The county of Lawrence gets our own pot and manages our own pot, and it can't be used in the city of Newcastle, Shenango Township, Union Township, or Elwood City. Elwood City, Shenango Township, and Union Township each get their own pot, and we manage those pots for them. And so in this specific instance, this is an activity taking place in Shenango. So the Shenango supervisors actually make all the decisions as it relates to CDBG in Shenango Township. We just simply administer their CDBG program. So it looks to me like they just want to take more housing rehab. Plain and simple.
Works for me.
I'll take a motion to approve 2022-38.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second that. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And 2022-39, same thing with public facilities. I know they're deploying a lot of CDBG funding right now to assist with the construction of El Cap's Frumill campus. So I'm making the assumption here that that's what public facility is here as indicated. But I'll take a motion to approve 2022-39.
So moved.
Motion, I'll second that. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we have the approval of the Lawrence County Emergency Management Agency Emergency Operations Plan County Support Procedures for Nuclear Power Plant Incidents. Jeff or Chad? Chad, come on up.
here.
Come on up.
We're making him do this.
We're giving you the full induction. What do we have before us? This is if the plant down in Beaver County goes nuclear, right?
Correct, yeah. Now called Energy Harbor, was First Energy. First Energy got out of the generating business. Energy Harbor bought the company and is running it now. This is just an update we do every 2 years to make sure the plant's still current, no changes or information in there. There were no changes to this plan, everything's still current. What it outlines is if there is an incident, we're expected to take in approximately 3,300 people from Beaver County, take them through a monitoring center, which will check to make sure they're not contaminated with anything radiological. If they are, clean them, and then work with the Red Cross to set them up in shelter. We also receive students from 3 schools in northern Beaver County who will come up here and actually host it at Union High School until arrangements can be made to rejoin them with their family members. So this outlines the traffic control points where we'll set up the monitoring decontamination center, the hospitals that'll take the patients if they need to go to a hospital. So it's all the same, nothing's changed. Following Friday, a couple names are going to change for that. So.
Where will we set up just a curiosity decontamination center?
It'll be Mohawk High School.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Long-standing agreement with them that we bring them up to Mohawk High School, the gymnasium, check them out. If they're good, send them on their way or send them to the Red Cross who's across the gym to set up shelter. So it's about 16,000 people will be evacuated. We plan for 20% of them, about 3,300, and we actually expect to possibly shelter maybe 1,600, 10% is the way they have it set up now. Those numbers have come down drastically, but
It's interesting how close coordination there is with school districts for something like this, both Mohawk and Union being involved. I thought that was just interesting. Dan, questions or comments?
Well, please indulge me. Many of you know I used to work for Penn Power, and back in the 80s and early 90s at least, you've got the nuclear plant in Shippingport, and right next door you have a coal-fired plant, the Bruce Mansfield plant. At one time, the Bruce Mansfield plant was the largest coal-fired plant in Pennsylvania. And back then, Penn Power operated the Bruce Mansfield plant. Duquesne Light operated the nuclear plant right next door. Both plants have cooling towers. And the story is that occasionally, folks who were anti-nuclear would come down to protest nuclear energy, and they'd have their signs. But on more than one occasion, they would stand in front of the coal-fired plant with their signs, and the security would have to go out and say, no, the nuclear plant's over there. That always stuck with me. But you're right, it's interesting how times have changed. Duquesne Light no longer operates the plant, the nuclear plant. The company.
The First Energy, and First Energy got out of generating
Right.
business. They're doing transmission now.
Right.
It was they were talking about closing it down like they did 3 Mile Island, but
Yeah.
Energy Harbor got some investors together and bought the plant. So.
I didn't mean to digress, but
So it wasn't a bad digression.
it's as Morgan said, it's good to have this in place. Let's hope we never have to use it, but it's good that it's there.
We will be exercising this in June, so we'd like to see it. Early June, we'll do our EOC activation, which we won't be invited to. Then we'll do our actual Monday concert.
Is that where we get to use the situation room?
Yep.
Always wanted to use that room. I thought we were gonna get lucky with COVID. I thought we were gonna get, but that didn't work out that way.
I wasn't letting anybody up in that room. That would only-
I remember, 'cause I had to go up for a day, 'cause we were getting the place clean, and you had me sit in the conference room up front.
That's exactly what it's for. We've used it a couple of times. It was nice the first year we moved into the building. We got to use it for the Beaver house, so every couple of years.
Whenever I first saw it, I was floored. I thought it was the coolest thing. It was the coolest thing ever. All right, I'll take a motion to approve 2022-39.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Oh, wait, 40. 40. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Jeff. Jeff?
Yeah, we've already got that.
Justin, grab you for a minute.
I have to give up, I got another meeting we gotta get to, so.
Take a quick picture and call you later.
Sure you smile.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you all. Thanks for your support.
Thank you all. You director.
See if you're still thanking us here in about 3 weeks. Up next is budget amendment. Moving some money in MHDS. This is additional monies received for the ERAP program. Based on the way the state's administering those funds, those are run through our Human Services Block Grant. So this is just more or less a formal budgetary measure to allow us to flow those dollars through the LCAP and continue that program. This will be 41.
Do you need a motion?
I do.
I'll make it.
Thank you. I'll second it. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Guys, please call the roll.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We have a $32 transfer from materials and supplies to subscriptions. This is how you know how anal I am in the budget. This is how you know. It's for Newcastle News. I guess maybe the prices went up from the prior year, so we're transferring another $32 in to cover the subscriptions. This is actually, I think, worth noting. Is our elections office every day. There were 2 departments in the courthouse that get the paper. One is the Office of the Commissioners, and the other is the Voter Services Office. They get both the Elwood City Ledger and the Newcastle News. And the reason they do is they come through the obituaries every day to see who is no longer with us and remove them from the voting rolls. It's just one example of that department going above and beyond to make sure that our elections are secure. I'll take a motion to approve administrative transfer A.
I'll make that motion.
All right, we have a motion. I'll second that. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And now we have no ordinances. Announcements will be here again on the 8th for our next commissioners meeting. The planning commission meeting on Wednesday, February 9th. The Shannon Township building has been canceled due to lack of development in Lawrence County. And there will be a prison board meeting on Wednesday, February 16th at noon in the commissioners meeting room. Is there anything that I'm missing?
I'm probably getting ahead of myself, but we'll be closed on February 21 for President's Day. So I know that's 3 weeks off, but figured I'd note it.
Yeah. All right, any public comment? Seeing none, I will adjourn Lawrence County Board of Commissioners.